Well, good morning. It is November 12th, day 156 on the trail for me. Kelly just dropped me off at Neel Gap, right, and at the mountain crossings. And, well, I gotta climb Blood Mountain. So I'm in the very early stages of that right now. The drive here from Newport, Tennessee wasn't too bad. Got to go through the Smokies again. And now, back on the mountains. So the plan for today is about 11 miles. That'll get me to Woody Gap. And then I'll either find a tent site near there, or if I feel like splurging, I might stay at a hostel. Don't really need to, but just for that, one more night in a hostel, the last one, I don't know, we'll see. See how I'm feeling toward the end of the day. The weather should be awesome today. I think we got a high of like 71. And a low overnight in the 40s, I think. All right, I've got some other hikers here. I'm going to pause. All right, so overall, it doesn't look like too bad today. And then tomorrow, do about 17 miles. And that'll take me to a shelter area. And then, the last day, it's about a 3-mile hike from the shelter to the to Springer. Morning. And then about 8 miles from Springer is the end at Amicalola. So just almost done. All right, well, as always, if I see anything interesting, I will grab a picture or some video. But for now, here's what the trail looks like. I'm on a rocky spot here, and it's a clear day. And there's no mountains in this direction. I think it's roughly to the south. No, maybe more to the east. I don't know. But I can see all the way to the horizon from here. All right, I'm still on the climb up Blood Mountain. And right now it's a fairly flat area, but there will be more significant climbing again soon. All right, see you in a bit. Still in the climb up Blood Mountain on the granite face here. Fortunately, it's dry. But a nice view out to some mountains. This is the Blood Mountain shelter. It's pretty much at the peak. I'm not staying here, but I wanted to see it. It's completely enclosed. Looks like they've closed up the fireplace here. Yeah. I don't think I'd want to stay here, but it's a neat old shelter. All right, I'm on the descent now from Blood Mountain, and it was a overall nice hike up, and it's been pretty good so far on the way down. While I was at the top, met another long distance hiker. He's doing the Bama to Baxter Trail, which is a combination, right? So there's the Pinhoti Trail, which goes through Alabama and then sort of connects to Springer Mountain, which is the terminus of the Appalachian Trail, the southern terminus. So he's already done that. He's done the Bama part, and now he's already hit Springer, and now he's heading north. So he's got a long way ahead of him still. I said, "Well, you got kind of an early start for that one." He's like, "Well, I'd rather do the cold than the hot." So he's got some cold ahead of him soon. But if you'd like to follow his adventure, I will find his handle. I know roughly what it is, but I can't remember it exactly. I want to get it right, so I'll find his handle and I will post it here in the video. It's on YouTube. But it was nice to just kind of stand up there or sit at some points and just take in the view. And there were some great views today up there. We met a guy named Poet up in Monson, Maine at Shaw's Hiker Hostel. And he had some important words for hikers near the end. He said, "Drink your deepest now, for the richest stuff settles in the final swig." Well, I'm there. This is my final swig. And, I've got some miles to do still, but I'm going to try and drink deeply again. So, and really try to appreciate what's remaining. All right, well, for now, here's the trail. Another nice view. I think to the south.
What's that place called?
East?
There are people sitting in front of it. We all enjoy it. Finish eating.
All right, I'm a little less than a mile from Woody Gap, I think. Just had an interesting experience. There was another rock with a good view shortly after the last video I took, and there was a young man sitting on it reading a book, and just said hello and said, something like, there are worse places where you could sit to read a book. And he was asking, how far I was hiking. I said, I'm a flip-flopper. And I said, I started at Harper's Ferry, and I went up to Katahdin, and then I was back to Harper's Ferry and got to Hot Springs. And he said, I wish I knew where those places were. And I said, well, Harper's Ferry's in West Virginia, and then Katahdin's in Maine. And his eyes lit up. I forget that not everybody who hikes the trail knows how extensive the trail really is. He was just out for a day hike, and so then he was just surprised by how far I'd come. So Jody, if you see this, I hope someday you get to see those places and that you hike the trail. Do your own hike. It's nice meeting you. All right, well, I've decided I got sort of a later start today, and I've been kind of going a little slow. I turned my ankle a little bit earlier. Hit a root and just, it folded over, and so I've had to go a little slower today. So I decided to go to the hostel. So I'm gonna stay at Above the Clouds Hostel and rest up a little bit. Not have to worry about setting up a tent, cooking outside and all that sort of noise. And it just, by the time I would get to where I need to go, it would be tight to get everything set up and get dinner cooked before the sun went down, and that's just no fun doing that stuff after it's dark. So I'm gonna stay at the hostel. Last one for me. Alrighty, I will probably see you there, but for now, here's what the trail looks like. All right, this is the view from Woody Gap. It's not bad at all. All right, so I'm here at the Above the Clouds Hostel, and one of the really cool things I saw here was they have this huge map of the trail, and it's presented horizontally, which is a little different. And so I'm gonna zoom in here on Georgia, and you can see the trail, and it marks the different peaks and shelters. And then at the bottom it has a rough map of the altitudes at the various levels. And I thought I hadn't seen a map like this. So there's Pennsylvania. And all the way up through Katahdin. There's a kitchen that the guests are allowed to use. A dining area. There's some private rooms over here and bunk rooms through that room, and restrooms back there. And another common room here with a fireplace. It's a pretty nice hostel. All right, so today I only did about 10.5 miles, but I sort of took my time with it, and it was a pretty nice hike overall. Yeah, I've only got about 20 miles left of the trail. So tomorrow the plan is they serve breakfast here, so I'm gonna have some breakfast and then get back on the trail, hopefully around 8 o'clock, and hike about 17.5 miles to a shelter, and stay there for my last night on the trail. And then the next day is just about 3 miles to Springer, and then 9 miles, 8.5 miles, I think, down to Amicalola. Somebody is planning on meeting me at Springer Mountain and hiking the approach trail down to Amicalola with me. I hope that works out, but I'm going to leave that as a surprise for now. But yeah, it was a good day, and happy to stay here. I got a shower, and I think the weather, I think there's supposed to be rain overnight tomorrow night into the morning. It's supposed to clear out in the morning on Thursday. I hope it does. I hope it's not raining too much for that for when I get to Springer. But if it is, then just deal with it, right? That's the way it is sometimes. But I spent some time this evening talking to one of the other guests here. Her name is Lori, and she's actually a volunteer on the Tennessee portion of the trailer, or the portion that a Tennessee club maintains. And so we were talking about, trail maintenance and just the trail in general, and and our different perspectives on it. And it turned out that she's originally from Hollywood, which is just around the corner from where I grew up in North Miami Beach. So it was nice to talk to somebody who knew about that area of Florida. So all in all, it was a good day. Did a lot. Right, started with a long drive. Got dropped off at Neel Gap. Got to see some good views. Blood Mountain was pretty cool. I enjoyed being up there on Blood Mountain. And tomorrow, I don't think there's any huge climbs or descents. I think it's just some smaller ups and downs. I think it's about 3,000 up and 3,000 down. So not too difficult, but a good amount of miles. So I have to deal with it. All right, so we'll see how it goes. All right, well, as always, if you've stuck through to the end, you know I appreciate it. And I'll see you again tomorrow on the trail.